Welcome to Collage. I'm going to be talking about my substrate, my inspiration, my collage pieces of paper, my glue, and how I'm going to give it a little bit of a frame. So I'm going to start with the little bit of a frame. It's a wood panel. I've coated it both sides with clear gesso, double coated both sides. That is as cheap as you can get. I've chosen masking tape that is that particular thickness. I've got these little pieces. They're actually offcuts. I tore them up. That one comes off there. I tore up this piece of collage paper. It's a jelly print that I made, and I tore it up and then didn't use it. And I thought how wonderful these would be as tree trunks. For the background, I'm going to be using these pieces of thin, super thin book pages. They're really, really old. I get a stack of them together like that, and I do about 20 at a time, and then use the same stencil and distress them with different colours. One of the reasons I want to use these in the background is that the paper is incredibly thin, so that's going to cover really nicely in the background and adhere quite nicely, rather than these pieces of paper. So this is about 100 GSM, and this is probably like 80 GSM. So these super thin ones will be just brilliant to lay down, and then when I place the thicker pieces on top, I won't have any bumps that I'm having to glue on top of. I'm going to be keeping the text in this direction, which means that I will tear up the pieces in this way, because then they kind of give a landscape feel because the text runs in that direction. I'm just going to tear these up, place them generally where I think they will go, and that way I'll have a general plan of what I'm going to be doing. A great thing to do at that time would be to take a photograph, because I inevitably will forget how I thought it would look. So they're going to all look like they're in the background, small font and not particularly bold colours, so they're going to be pushed back into the background by the fact that they're a small font and the colours aren't overly bright or saturated. And then the foreground will be full of these saturated colour pieces. They're dark and they're saturated colour, so they'll go like that. Oh, I keep picking that up. I don't want that one. Let's get another one. Like, I've got some more over here. These have been blue tacked together for the piece I was working on. And if you blue tack them together, it's quite handy when you go to pick up a lump that you're planning to glue down later. I mentioned that I want to keep some of the wood showing, so perhaps I will give these some breaks. I don't want that to go there because that's too obvious, so I'll either twist it. I might put these straight edges at the top. I'll turn this one upside down. That's a good idea. And like so. There, and then have some lovely little spaces in there with the background. And if I'm lucky, that will look like a little mountain. That would be really cool. How's that look? Does that look a little bit like a mountain shape? A little bit. I'll improve that one like that. Line it up with that one and tear that one off. See if that looks, I might put that under there. And that's a little bit like a mountain shape. That's I'm kind of pleased with that idea. And then that will go there, and I may not even need them. Okay, good start. The foreground needs to have some more colour and some pieces of collage that are more saturated in colour. Not quite as saturated in colour as these, but in between these. These are really light toned and these are very negative. These are very light toned and neutral in their colours, and these are very dark and saturated in their colour. So in this mid ground here, I'd like to put something that is, oh, that's cool. That has a lot of purple in it. I wonder whether that would look beautiful in the foreground there. Best thing to do is to tear it up and see how that looks. I'll put it this way with this lovely torn edge. How's that? Not too bad. I might tear this off and make a rough edge over there. I love a rough edge. Bit more that will go over there. In the beginning of a collage, there's a lot of back and forth while you make your decisions about what's going to go there. Folder here of more text pieces. Oh, this one's quite good because good colours and the text is bigger. So I like that. I'll put that in the foreground too. Okay, rough edge on the top. Again, I get a stack of these and I've poured ink over them and they go through multiple layers. So this is a really easy way to prepare a piece of text-based collage. Okay, so we'll put these down here and the colour's beautiful as well. So, and oh look, there's beautiful green here. Okay, so we'll put that, might get rid of some of them now. That down and that down here. Yeah. That edge, rid of that edge. Put in some, rid of that edge, put up and down like that. That's cool. And like that. How's that? It is on the way. I quite like this bit sticking up here, but this bit here is not making sense. Oh, it's part of that. Damn. No. Oh, don't move those. Move that there. This is going to go on top. And I'm going to leave a little space there and a little space there. Now you might be wondering, how am I going to stop gluing bits of paper onto my tape? And I'm going to do that via the glue. I'm going to be really particular about where I put the glue and it won't go on the tape. Okay, now let's replace our trees. Down here, this was good, this was good. There, this one, does it go in there? Oh, I could make some smaller pieces that map over those. There's a join here, so perhaps I'll interrupt it with a smaller piece there. And a lovely piece there. I might join them up a little bit. They're nice and regular. I don't like little shapes to be too disparate. There's something quite lovely when you have some objects join. And I learnt that from painting and drawing, that it's better if you join your objects up. Okay, now I'm going to place this one here as though it's this tree. This one here will need to be much thinner. So I'm going to halve it. And it's got a branch that goes up like that. And it's got a really thin branch that comes out there. I wonder if I can tear this even thinner and make it go out. Like that. So it's got a branch that goes up, except it goes up and then comes down. So I might make it, put it that way and put it in across this empty space where the wood's going to come through. And then I've got another lovely thin one, and I need that to be even thinner in order to make another thin branch. So I don't know that I'll go that way. This one needs to be thinner. Tear that one down. It needs to be thinner because I'm thinking about these trees. I'm just going to move this down. Oops, I've accidentally taped it onto there. Move that up a little bit so I can see the foreground. So those trees are actually sitting on this ground that's in here. So should I make them come off this ground? Put it like that. Here's another tree. It could come, that's curving rather nicely into the collage. Make that thinner at the end because that's what all trunks do. They start thicker and they get thinner, thinner, thinner. So that one's a bit similar in placement in the direction of those, so I'm going to change it and put it like that. And in fact, quite lovely if it goes a little off the edge. That goes down there, and that one could go under that. And they actually do touch. That's quite nice. I need something to make that go off the page though. So either I extend it or I bring it up, because I quite love that all these trees go off the top of the composition. Okay, how's that? Not too bad. I'm not going to spend any longer on the trees. I'm going to resolve that later. I'm pretty happy with the direction of it. Oh, these, no, leave them. I'm pretty happy with the direction. I'm pretty happy with that space. So I'm going to take a photo. Okay, too late, didn't take the photo. Good time to have taken the photo. I'm just going to move all the trees over there. Move that one. And get these ones down. And I quite liked how they joined in such a way, give that a rough edge, in such a way that they looked a little bit like a mountain. And let's give this a little rough edge too. Still enough space, yes. That will go on top of that. That will go underneath that and into there. Just take off a little bit more of that one. Put that under there. Pretty happy with that negative space. So I'm going to glue it right now. The glue I love to use at the moment is Liquitex. Now it's a matte gel. I like matte. I don't love the glossy look. It cost me $85, so worth waiting for specials on these things. Okay, I've got a brush that was reasonably cheap, because these glues in anything acrylic just slowly ruins your brush. So I'm going to hold these very carefully. I find it quite satisfying to use the corner edge. This needs to come up, and that's going underneath to there. That goes over to there. Okay. The part of the disadvantage in not completely planning this out is that it may not work. I've got a little bit of a plan, but I find if I don't just start, then I just overplan and not achieve anything. And I would rather learn by doing. It's something that I've discovered about myself much later in life, is that I learn by doing. There we go, and then we can get this one down, line that up. Those edges are pretty good. Yep, that's pretty cool. Okay, just move them down and then come back in. I'm gluing over the whole thing so there's an even amount of glue, I hope. And then I'll be putting these pieces back in to kind of, I hope, look like there's a mountain range in the distance. Come down a little further, keeping that glue beautifully smooth, because it might, if I'm lucky, I won't have to go over that area again. So I'm going to do a beautiful smooth layer of this matte gel. Okay, and then this one's going to come in here. So I'll just increase the amount of glue there. That's going here. lining it up with the edge again. Don't have to do that, of course, but I think there's something rather satisfying about that. Just lift that, because now is the time to get all the bits of it glued. And down. And I think that went on top, but I'll go over to this side first. So I'll try and make this one go a bit higher, I think. There. Line it up with that edge again. I have no idea whether this is going to work. What I do know is that I'm having a nice time. And just love the idea of sharing my process with you guys. And I'm so appreciative of the people who write comments. I could practically name them, except that I don't want to miss anyone out. Okay, and now I'm going to layer up. Put that there. Ooh, maybe I'll go upside down. Yeah, that's a bit more interesting, isn't it? Go upside down. I keep accidentally going onto the tape, so I don't know what the consequence of that is going to be, but I'm keep forging ahead. Glue underneath to ensure it gets beautifully adhered. And it's just, because it's such thin paper, it glues like a dream. That's the advantage in using these beautifully, I think I might do something a bit crazy and put in some bits that make it look a bit more irregular, because that's what I want, is an irregular look. Okay, I had some pieces over here. Was that it? Could be. I think I'll go thinner. And yeah, I'm enjoying that, just putting it on a wonky angle. Hopefully this will just tear off when I pull the tape off. Oh, there's a bit here with no colour on it. Let's put a bit there. That's quite nice. Another little bit with no colour, put it in the middle of there. I'm turning it around. It bothers me that it's on that angle. Okay, how's that looking? Oh, I like that this is more textured. I'm just going to increase that a little bit there. There. And there. Be irregular. And do I need a bit more? That bit is jumping out at me in a bothersome way. So I'll just cover that a little. That's good. There's a little space there and a little space there. I like those little spaces. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure that I need this one. And I think I will go straight in for the foreground. And I think I'll look at my image. It actually goes up there. So I might replicate that, go on that angle to match this angle of the mountainside we were standing on. It is such, if you can use your own images, like this is from a holiday we went on in Victoria. I live in Australia, and we went on a driving holiday down to Victoria. If you can use your own photos, it's so much better because you've got this memory associated with it that is Now I'm going to glue over it. If you can use your own images, it is really wonderful thing to do, because when you're creating using your own image, you've got this beautiful sense of memory. And as you're gluing and using this as your inspiration, and that's all it is, just inspiration, it's just so inspiring, because the whole time I'm thinking about where we were, and it was a lookout, and who we were going to meet, and we actually met some Sydney-siders when we were at that lookout, which was kind of cool. There, and glue over it. And again, I'm avoiding my tape, I hope. And then I had these wonderful bits to go in here, there, and glue over the top. Every time I'm gluing over the top. And these were connected, I recall, like that. They are never going to move if you do the back and the front. There's a bit of a bump here, as in like a little lump, so there's just not enough glue down here. I'm going to reapply, because it'll be really painful later on to try and get the glue under. So I'll put it on the back of this as well. Oh no, I don't want to put it on the back of that. Damn it. I want it to go to there, and I don't want it on the back. Okay, mucky fingers. Oh, that looks kind of cool. That's funny. Turned it over. Is there enough glue in there to keep that down? Just wipe my fingers on myself. Okay, I can see now by looking at it that I don't need that much, that if I put that over there, it's not necessarily going to help. So it goes down, it actually comes down and kind of goes up the other way. Is that going to look cool? Or should I in fact have a big one there and then the trees come out of that? That would leave this little space down here. Very easy to cover later on. Just going to get that one down. There's a lumpy bit there. Now is the time to get rid of any bits that are sticking up, because when they're half glued, they become really strong and difficult to get rid of. I wonder if all it wants is a little tiny bit now. Some smaller bits. Now I liked the big idea. Ooh, what about something big like this? Yeah, that's better. Look at the difference it makes when you place something there, there, or down the bottom, or up there. No, the first spot was great. It's going to go, trying not to put glue on my tape. Okay, this is a thicker piece, so it's going to require glue on the back. If you don't do that, I find that you would need a really, really thick piece of glue, and as I say, trying to get glue under it later on, really, really difficult. So, and sufficient glue to really get it in place, especially on those bigger pieces. And I'm checking by pushing my brush back and forth that there are no air bubbles. Okay, oh, that's so much better, lovely. I really like that. Makes me want to move the trees over here. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to smooth this out. There's a little lump there, a bubble, as in not a lump, a bubble, air bubble there. So I'm just brushing that down. Is this, I'm going to fold that up to there. And yeah, I'll glue it in position. So it needs a little more glue underneath. and a little bit of glue on top, and then that goes down on that. The glue is totally gone all over the tape, so I'm just going to remove some of that excess. Excess glue there too. How's that? Not bad. There's excess glue here, get rid of. Okay, really good start. These are looking a little bit mountainous. This is a little bit mountainous looking, so I'm pretty happy with that. I've got my trees ready. I'm just going to see whether or not placing them on that looks good. No, it doesn't. Okay, the trees are going to go to the other side. So that one and that one, if they come out of there, does that look all right? I could glue something over the top of it a bit later. It could go up a little higher, about like that. I love that they're gonna just touch the edge or pass the edge. And look at how that's balancing with that. That's pretty good. I'm gonna let that dry so that I can place all the pieces on. Get rid of the excess glue. It makes your cleaning process for your brushes much quicker. Straight into water. One of the things I love about this Liquitex matte gel is the lid. Really easy to get off and on. Okay, I've made a lovely start. I'll come back later when this is dry. I love the shape of this tree here. One goes out that way and one goes out that way. Actually, it curves around like that. And they both come from down there. And then we've got this extra branch, which could go there. I won't tear that one yet until I get more of the branches in position, more of the trees in position. I wonder whether this actually looks better than the white, or do I want both of them? Not sure about that. Anyway, this tree comes up and covers it in. This tree comes up and goes over the other tree, so I'll just put that down like that. Or maybe that covers that. That's nice. One gets interrupted by another. Oh, I know, this can match that tree, because then these edges are the same torn edge, and this has the white exposed. And then this tree can come up and go over that one. That's better. Okay, so I have to imagine, does this look all right that that is sitting like that? Because the trees, they have a little bit of grass around the base of them, and that kind of grounds them. So I did like the idea that perhaps it sits behind something. For example, if this goes up a little bit, it could sit like that, and this could sit like that, as though there's little bits of grass in front of them, maybe. It's just, in collage, there's just lots of moving stuff about while you work out what's best. I like that white sitting on top of that, so that's going to go like that. And then there's this really lovely small one there. So this could be a branch, or perhaps it could be a small tree. It would need to be a different colour though. So what else have I got in other colours? I do have this beautiful one. That when you tear it, it's got the beautiful blue. So what would that be like if I make that a faraway tree? Yeah, all right, let's commit and give it a thin tree that goes into the background. can, of course, cut your collage. Goes up to there, or there. That's good. And you get a completely different look if you cut using scissors. You get a finer look. It's got a little stumpy bit that comes out of it, so just there. So I'm kind of playing with that idea. Oh, I like that it's a little bit different. Not too bad, not too bad. There's a really big fat tree over there. Maybe this could be a big fat tree. Or maybe it goes the whole distance and covers all of the background. Look at that. That's quite lovely. If I move it over, kind of groups these three together. And then what I should do is move them over as well. Perhaps this moves over this way. This comes over, and then this sits on top of that. And then I've kind of got a group and a group. It does leave this very exposed, so that's not great. Perhaps I should keep this one and just make lots of branches. So this can have a branch coming up like that. That's better. It needed something covering that. So that means I'll move this one in that direction and cover that blank space there. Big one right at the front that goes over those. And I'm pretty happy with that. You can see this space here quite nicely, so I might include a little tiny thing. Should it be in another colour? What other colours have I got here? This fabulous greeny, goldy colour. See how thin I can make it. Just tear it even thinner. If I can't tear it any thinner, then I'll just get scissors. That's a bit thinner. Put that into that space there. Does that look like it matches? As in, belongs to that tree, kinda. Yeah, I think I'll do another one of those. Get rid of that. So I'll do another couple of little branches like that. Tear them as small as I can. And put in another little branch over here. So at this point I'm thinking about this negative space in the background. I want it to look beautifully different. And I'm going to make that shorter. Come down like that. And then this one, will tear this into, getting kind of difficult to tear. And that one can go into that. So I'm putting it there because it breaks up that space. This big tree can have perhaps something small up there. That is too similar to that, so yeah, too small. Let's get another bit of this one, thin as I can, and longer than different, so I'll go quite long. Always thinking about the shapes being different from each other. How does that work? Does that kind of... Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, let's commit. Otherwise you can spend... I know I mentioned that before, but otherwise you can spend so long going over and over and over the same decisions, and they don't necessarily get better. Now that one could go behind or in front. Yeah, it'll go in front. So I'm going to put that there. That one's the one that is in the absolute background. So I'm going to move my image up further, and I'm going to glue all over the back. So this is the paper that is a little thicker, so it's like 120 GSM. And, oh damn it, I did not mean... I really wanted to avoid getting glue on my tape. Go close to the edge. come down. Oops, I'm moving things. And and this is what happens all the time. I forget all the time where was that going to go on top? Yeah, right, like that. And I'm going to tear this off because otherwise it will glue straight on to my tape, and I don't want it to. There, I'm going to come back and give that more glue in a minute. Give this one a good coating as well, all over every little bit of it. Coat this, remembering not to go over the tape. All right. This one goes like this. I remember I was going to have that on top of the base, and it goes there. Kind of like that look. Then over to there, and then I'm going to tear off the top again. And this little tiny one, even though it's really small, I'm still going to completely cover it with glue on the back and glue on here. I really want that to go down, 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 down. And that's going to go over to there. And again, it's going through the negative space. Just breaks it up and makes it more interesting. Just push it down at the top. Just bend it back a little, I think. Okay, let's deal with this now. So, hoping not to have to deal with this in the middle of gluing, but I can see it's going to be a problem otherwise. Okay, that's better. Glue it down again. Right, checking they're all beautifully glued and that my glue is lovely and even. And then I've got this tree next. All over the back. And it's got this lovely white edge on it, so it can go quite close. In fact, that's quite lovely sitting on top. And close to the edge, close to the tape. Put on some glue, not on the tape. I know I'm saying that over and over again. Let's take this one up to the edge. There. Get this glued down. And then this little branch came off that. All over the back. I'm keeping these little bits there in case I want to put them somewhere else at the end. Right, I'm looking at the negative spaces. Are they all beautifully different? Because it'll be very easy to put that one on a different angle, but then they become even. So if I move it over there, they're nice and different. Take that up to the edge, glue on top. It's pretty good. This piece here I managed to not get glued down properly, so I'm just removing that. And then I've got glue all over my fingers. This, I can't remember what this was doing. Oh, it's coming up as a stumpy looking thing. This is going under that, so the next one I'm going to do is just move it to the left a centimetre. Hopefully I'll remember. It's only gone a centimetre to the left. Nice even amount of glue. Glue on the back just so ensures a beautiful grab. So it's going here. It goes up to the top of there. Just bring it down a little. This little branch was a little stubby thing I think I liked the idea of it coming out of a stubby look like that. Actually, I think that was the stub. Well, I think I'll just be creative and stick it down there. Okay, a bit of glue. Bit of glue. Oh yeah, that's nice. And again, I'm thinking about those negative spaces so that this negative space between the branch and the trunk is different to this one. And that I've achieved that. Oh, this is a nice big one. All the little bits of paper are just slowly gluing to me. This one's going over the whole thing. Lots of glue here. And a nice amount of glue on the back. Constantly generous with the glue. It, would be beautiful to be being more, am I going that way or that way? Not that way. It would be lovely to be being more economical with the glue, but the reality is if you save money on the glue here, you waste a lot of time later on. Now, with this one, I'm not going to tear it off because I'm kind of wondering about the idea of it going outside the frame and whether or not that might look fantastic. So I'm going to glue it down, but not press hard beyond the tape. Just get it to sit there because it might look really cool to be sitting outside the frame. Okay, kind of cool. All right, I'm going to finish off in this edge here. Just make it all as neat as I can. I don't really want to see the brush strokes of the glue. Match that up in there so that that's all even looking too. This is sitting up a little bit, unfortunately. Just going to give it a press. There. Oh yeah, it definitely wants little branches, doesn't it? That's not quite small enough. This one is though. Can't remember what I had. Does this one go off that one? No. Does it go off this way? Nope. Do I need it at all? Yeah, that's not too bad, eh? But is it thin enough? Yeah, it is thin enough. Okay, that can go very nicely there. I didn't put glue on the back, did I? All that reminding myself, and hopefully you, and then I'm not doing what I said I would do. Ooh, should it sit out like that? Should it sit out and touch that one? Ooh, or a tiny little space. So it just touches, or would it look better down low? This is a beautiful triangle in there. I think I'll just go for it. Now, this lovely big chunky one could do with something else to kind of help ground it. I also was thinking about whether to add little bits at the bottom here to, like this little one. Put a bit of glue on it, and then do I put little bits like that? So put a bit of glue, and then it's kind of like a bit of grassy something growing in front of it. Kind of pushes it back a tiny bit. Actually, I'll put it onto that white bit because that was a tiny bit stark. Just gently brush it down so it doesn't move around. All right, that's quite nice. This is quite plain in there, and that's quite lovely. Kind of gives your eye somewhere to rest where there's no pattern, or very little pattern. It actually is patterned. It's just that it's been covered with lots of paint. What's this little cutie? A little bit of gold. Let's put that somewhere. Something, should it go here to kind of go in front of that one or come up like that, kind of like a little rock? Yeah, I like that. That's a little thin bit, as in, you know, it's, I don't know, 80 GSM, and so they just glue down really easily. Oh, that's quite nice because that's lifting, kind of jumping your eye to there, which makes me wonder whether or not I should continue that idea of that lovely light plain area. Come over here and put something there. Oh, yes. Really thin, so that can just go straight down. Yeah, I like that. Will it go on? I could shove it under that and put it in the middle of that space there. There. Oh, that's so cute. And what else? Yeah, that worked really well, putting that in front of that. So I'm wondering whether or not to put another little cutie down there. I want to make sure each one's a little bit different when I stick them down. There. There. About there, like that. Yeah, that's good. The glue under there is drying very quickly, so I'm just reapplying that. There. Okay, that's looking good, that's looking good. Just press that down, it's sitting up just a tiny bit. Get rid of that, and okay, so it's time to stop and have a little look. Does it want a little more detail? For example, on these, this really big one, there is in the photo some uprights that go straight up. So I'm wondering whether to include that. Oh, I've also got this lovely bit of music paper. Okay, I'm going to just risk tearing some of these up and see if I can go smaller. My hands are quite sticky now. My fingers are sticky, I mean. So I was thinking I might need scissors, but that's okay. How's that look? Yeah, it needs some little tiny bits. Okay, just checking that that doesn't look like something else. See how it looks just like that one? So let's change it up. And nope, now it's similar to, go low. Yep. You get branches of all sizes. I'm just looking to add a bit more detail, really. Okay, how about this one? That could go over there. I'll make that look a little bit like that's a branch that goes out and then comes in over the tree. Oh, that's great. I'm going to continue that with another little bit of paper in like there. There. That's lovely. And I think it needs to go up just that little bit more. It's so hard to tear these and keep them small. To there. This one probably does want a little more. I look again at my tree. I mean, I was kind of doing that tree there, and it has multiple branches. It has one that's nearly horizontal and one that goes off into the distance. So I'm wondering whether or not that space there needs another branch, and should I do it with the musical paper? It's kind of satisfying to finish I'm nearly finished. It's kind of cool to nearly finish off with these little tiny thin bits because they're so easy to pick up and put down. How's that? Yeah, it just looks like I'm mirroring that one. How about if I put it on it? And like that. I love it. Okay. Could be a branch, could be you know, anything you want it to be, because it's quite abstract. As your eye wanders through your composition, is there anything that stops you in your tracks and you go, oh, what's that? My eye is kind of stopping here. I think this one is just not working as a little stumpy bit, so it needs some sort of breaking up in some way. Do I put a little... Does that almost look like a bird? Am I kidding myself? If I put a little bird in, or an object that could be mistaken as a bird. There. That's great. That's stopped me looking at that shape as being a little bit odd. Is there anything else as you go around? See, now I love the idea that this is a resting place, but for my eye, it's like I keep looking there and going, what is it? And then it bothers me after that. So perhaps I need to make it more obvious, so put something dark in front of it. At this point in all, oh, I haven't put any glue on the back. At this point in the artistic process, it's very much driven by your sense of aesthetic. You just got to start to trust yourself and say, well, no, this is what I like. I'm not worrying about what other people like. I think that little bit of dark there actually helped. So I'm not worrying about what other people like. I'm just thinking about me. I'm thinking about what do I like? What do I want? What does my eye think as I go around? I've got this other beautiful dark piece and I'm wondering whether or not that should... Oops, it's because my hands are so covered in glue. Does that help in any way if I put that over there or down there? Nope, that doesn't help at all. I quite love this bit in the background there, and it looks as though it is behind the tree, so I'm pretty pleased about that. So I've got these fabulous foreground pieces, I've got some mid-ground, and then I was going to say I've got something over there, but I've got a background, so that's cool. But this bit here, is that asking for some more, I don't know, should there be a branch that goes off that? Yeah, I think there should. And I'm going to attempt to tear it. It's so hard because of the my sticky fingers. Okay, so should it go like that? Oh, there are no other branches that look like that in there, so that will come off there. Okay, bit of glue down here. And a bit of glue there. That's actually a bit fatter at this end, so I'll put the fatter end down here. Then glue it in. Is that better? Yeah, that's just helped with that area. It's just fascinating what your eye decides is quite cool. That looks a little bit like that. That's kind of cool too. This one isn't completely making sense, but for some reason I don't mind it. Though I do kind of like the idea that it not kind of points so directly that way. So again, that's the music paper. Have I got any more of that? Yes, I do. So I might do a similar thing to what I've done over here, which is to give it a branch off its branch. See if I can tear this little tiny piece there. Okay, bit of glue. I think it should go up here. So will it go like that? Which end is fatter? That end is fatter. So, oh, big chunk of paint just fell off my brush. I hate that. So will it go like that? Is that nice? It's not repeating anything particularly. That'll do. And hopefully, oh, does that better on an angle like that? Yes, it's lovely, because you certainly do get broken bits, don't you? There was a little white bit there, but I just glued it down. See if that looks good. Lovely, really lovely. I feel like there needs to be a distinction between that and that. But you know what? At this point, I think this is a good opportunity to stop. And instead, I'm going to put my brush straight in there. I didn't clean off the excess glue because I am wondering if I'll be here in a minute searching for some glue. Okay, I'm going to take this off. Go under this piece of paper. I'm going gently under this piece of paper because I may want to stick it down. I love the idea that you go inside and outside a frame. So that's why I've created a frame using the masking tape. I don't want to put any yucky stuff on that area. Pull them all off. And then I can decide whether they look good being, you know, outside the frame. And it would be quite easy to make one of them, add one of them, or introduce a branch that goes up there if I like the idea. Or no, actually it's kind of groovy that there's only one tree. So now I'm going to look at it as I'm just going to fold it over, hoping it doesn't damage it too much. Just fold it over to go, does it look better if it's contained within the frame? Ooh, put it down again, put it up again. Yeah, I think I'll go with it. Now, I left all this watery glue on here, so hopefully all I have to do is get this there down like that. Very watery, so I don't know what will happen. But I really love finishing off projects. Really, really, really love it. It just bothers the hell out of me if I start a project and then I put it aside and then I come back and find it later. And I just annoy myself. Whereas if I finish a project, I come back later and I know that I rush things at the end because I want to get it done. But I'm fixated on getting things completed. And there's a very strong psychological reason as to why. Please ask me if it's of any interest to anyone. I have no idea sometimes what you guys think. And I just would love to know though. Oh, it's pretty cool. And you know what? I'm going to sign it down here. And when I sign it down there, that's going to nicely balance this off-center piece. And I'm missing a bit on that corner and that corner, and that's kind of cool too. So there's multiple bits that are missing. I'm pretty pleased with that. Back into my dirty water. By the way, I've got a 3-tier system. A little tiny jar where you get the vast majority of the colour off after a rag. Rag first, dirty jar, and then I've been putting it into detergent because I've been playing such a lot with glue and with acrylics, and a lot of glues are just acrylics. And I've been killing all these paintbrushes that I didn't mind, or I actually nearly ruined a brand new one. So I've gone for this 3-tier system. Just saying in case you use a brush that you quite like. So thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate if you write me a comment and give me a like. It makes a difference and makes me want to keep creating more. Thanks guys. See you next time. Bye.